Hey, welcome to Digging into the Bible. My name is Jim Barnard. This is a production of Tiller Coaching. Okay, it's day 79, and we've got Paul supposed to be headed to Rome, but he is on a ship that has gotten tossed and turned, and things are not going well. So today we're going to see the dramatic conclusion of that story. With that as the backdrop, let's go ahead and dig in. This is Acts chapter 27, starting at verse 39. Now, when it was day, they did not recognize the land, but they noticed a bay with a beach on which they planned, if possible, to run the ship ashore. So they cast off the anchors and left them in the sea, at the same time loosening the ropes that tied the rudders. Then, hoisting the foresail to the wind, they made for the beach. But striking a reef, they ran the vessel aground. The bow stuck and remained immovable, and the stern was being broken up by the surf. The soldiers' plan was to kill the prisoners, lest any of them should swim away and escape. But the centurion, wishing to save Paul, kept them from carrying out their plan. He ordered those who could swim to jump overboard first and make it for the land, and the rest on planks or on pieces of the ship. And so it was that all were brought safely to land. Crazy story, right? Like, how scary must this experience have been? I just cannot even fathom. I mean, of course, this is going to happen to Paul. This dude has experienced the craziest stuff. His story just isn't lacking to any degree, right? Like he's had like so many things happen in his life, and it's great for us. Like, don't we all love a good story? Like, the story in Acts is a really good story. But I don't know if you believe this or not, and maybe I'm still working this out in my head a little bit on the validity of it. Although I think maybe like every day that goes by, I'm maybe starting to believe it more. But I have a feeling that the closer you get to God, the crazier your story is going to get. It just is a natural byproduct. This seems to have played out for Paul, and I've seen it play out in my life. I mean, heck, I wrote a book. That doesn't make me like cool or like hip or like anything like more relevant. I just like the closer I've gotten to God, like the more interesting my story has gotten, like the more twists and turns, and it's been a great adventure. I mean, just truly it has been. There's parts of my story that I don't like, but there's stuff in my story I would like gladly give up, but I can see how this story has worked in like an amazing way and has, it's changed me. It's maybe inspired other people. I don't know. Like, I know some of you are thinking like, well, here's the thing, Jim. I don't want my story to be any more crazy than it already is. So maybe I just need to be like out on this God thing. Like, if your hypothesis here is accurate, like I should just be done. Like I should get further away from God as opposed to closer to him. And I'll just say loud and clear, that's garbage. This is the only life that we get to live, right? Like I want this to be a story that matters. Like, frankly, I want this to matter to people. It's really important to me, especially if like God is watching over me, if he's protecting me, if he's guiding me, because he's doing that for Paul. Like every step of the way, he's doing that for Paul. And, frankly, I've seen him do that in my own life. Like it's happened. And I want that for you. Yeah, like there's things that are hard, and like I don't know how I'm gonna see my way through it. But like, man, if Paul survived a shipwreck, man, maybe I can survive my shipwrecks. Maybe you can survive your shipwrecks. I mean, God was really clear. Like, an angel of the Lord came to Paul and said, like, hey, you need to make it to Caesar. You're not gonna die here. Like, you're gonna continue on this journey. Doesn't mean it's not gonna be crazy. Doesn't mean the story's not going to be ripe, but you're gonna continue on. If God is doing this, if there's an assurance that like God is there and he's in control, like maybe maybe I can, enjoy this story as it unfolds in my own life. And, certainly there's going to be a day where, like the shipwreck's going to get me. Like Paul's not going to live forever. Like that's how this is going to end for Paul. Like there's going to be certain death at some point, but like it's going to happen to all of us. Like I actually I think it's not something to be scared of. I think it's something to embrace. I mean, honestly, talking about being the suffering guy, suffering is going to happen. It's going to happen to all of us. It makes our story unique. It makes our story good. And frankly, if we want to champion the future of heaven, like that eternity that's going to be so good, so awesome, so perfect, it's going to come with suffering, like death or tribulation. That's the only way we're getting to heaven. And so, let's embrace it. Let's enjoy the ride. So, I don't know. I got a little overly preachy there, and I don't know how that lands for you, but I believe that God is writing a story in your life. And it's up to you if you're going to embrace it and enjoy the craziness. Yeah. All right. Well, with that, thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. I'll see you tomorrow as we begin the final chapter of the book of Acts, Acts 28. I will see you then.